Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about 6 tips that I wish I knew before I started my fitness journey. So fitness has been evolving and in my life for many, many years. I had my first daughter and then I got pregnant with twins, which inevitably kind of slowed down what I was doing as far as my fitness. But after having twins, I was able to lose 50 pounds. And the best part about it is that I've been able to keep it off. So I've been maintaining my weight for several years. My twins are now 10 years old, which makes me feel super old. But the best part about it is that I've done it in a way that has been sustainable and hasn't felt like it's taken anything away from my life. It just felt like it's been added to. So I want to share those 6 tips with you before you begin your fitness journey and can learn from the mistakes I made along the way. If this is a topic that interests you, be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, now let's get into those 6 tips. Make sure that you stick around till the end because there's a giveaway that involves free food delivered right to your door. Okay, so tip number 1. This one was crucial to my fitness journey, so listen up. The best thing you can do for yourself is to relieve yourself of putting time on your goals. So for several years, I would set these goals, these big goals, and put a deadline on them. Once that deadline came and I didn't hit my goal, then I was feeling sad and discouraged about my journey. So instead, I want to encourage you to take that time variable away. We often hear a lot of times like they want to look and feel a certain way for a specific event in their life, which is totally normal and valid feelings to have. But you want to think more along the terms of a lifelong journey. So say you're about to experience your 20th high school reunion. I know because mine's coming up and like the thought of something like that would be scary, right? Instead of thinking like, oh, I want to look great for my high school reunion, think more long-term, because then what happens when your reunion comes, you just spiral backwards. You want to keep moving forward. So you don't want your goal to have that deadline on it. You want to make small goals throughout the process and go from there and never be actually like done. You want to constantly be moving forward and always trying to be better and building upon that. So it's like you're building a house brick by brick. You're adding one brick and then adding another, and then you're just gonna keep going and keep building. The key is to always be working on yourself, to add things in sustainable ways that you can do these habits daily and be working on yourself every single day. Okay, so these tips from here on out are in no particular order. So make sure you stay around for 2 through 6 because they're just as valuable.
Okay, tip number 2 is something you hear often. Move more throughout the day. So what does that mean? What that means is a lot of times we're used to a sedentary lifestyle and not getting enough steps throughout the day outside of our workout. My biggest mistake was that I would wake up early, do my workout, and then think that I was done for the day. Like I could not move as much, and that was actually hindering my progress. If you think about it, if you start the daily starter program, those workouts average 30 minutes per workout, 5 times a week. That's actually only 2.5 hours out of your entire week, which is 168 hours. So you have plenty of time throughout the rest of the week that you need to be moving your body. Our bodies are meant to move, and being stationary is not good for us. So what can you do to increase your steps? The recommended steps is 10K a day. If you're far off of that, start small and slowly increase your steps until that is the norm for you. Once that's normal, then you increase again. So you keep doing this until your average is about 10K a day. I always like to say that 8 to 10 is good, and if you could be somewhere between 8 and 12, that's great. So what are some ways that you can increase your steps throughout the day? You can increase your steps throughout the day in so many different ways. My favorite one that I love to do is so simple. park far away when you go to stores. A lot of times we drive up and down the aisles trying to find the closest spot, when really just park far away and get some extra steps. Another way, if you have kids, is to go for a walk with them, walk them to the park. If you have dogs, walk your dogs. Just make it a part of your normal routine of adding in steps here and there. If you have a desk job, make sure that you schedule little walk breaks. So like this, I'm outside now. I was tired of sitting at my desk, and I'm outside giving myself a few minutes to walk and get some sunshine. If you can't go outside because of weather, doing it on a treadmill is perfectly fine too. Or better yet, if you can, buy yourself a walking pad. If you can bring that to your office or do it from home, that's a great way to increase your steps throughout the day, and also will help you be able to focus and just feel good throughout the day. Speaking of these tips of getting more movement throughout the day, that brings me to tip number 3. Do what you love and love what you eat. So a lot of times we aren't happy with the way we look. So we'll add in certain things like say, okay, I'm gonna start running every day to help me with my goals. But if running is not your jam, you shouldn't be doing it. A good rule of thumb that I like to tell my clients is this something you could see yourself doing in 10 years? If it's not, then it's probably not a good idea for you. So stick the things that you like. Try out a bunch of different things. When you find what you like, stick with it. Exercise is supposed to be a celebration of what your body can do, not a punishment for how unhappy you feel about the way your body looks. So remember that, and also remember that this is all about sustainability. You want to be able to sustain your exercises for life. So if you love walking, don't be hard on yourself and think that walking isn't good for you. Walking is incredible, it's great, and you can do it your entire life. Speaking of sustainability, that brings me to eating what you love. You have to love the food that you're eating. If you're not going to be able to stick to it, right? And that's where that 10-year rule comes into play. If you love eating cake and you tell yourself you're not going to eat cake, then it's not going to last for a while. You're going to want that even more. So just remember, this is about sustainability. There are ways to eat the foods that you love and still hit your goals. You can add more protein to each meal. You can swap out some ingredients that you're using. Sometimes it's as simple as changing the oils that you're using in your food, or removing, say, butter and then adding more flavor with seasonings and things like that. Eating what you love is going to be such a game changer and get you to finally seeing the results that you want without restriction in your life.
Okay, now that I've caught my breath from that quick walk, I'm gonna go over tip number 4. Each meal of your day, you're gonna want to aim for 30 grams of protein. Now, I know 30 sounds like a lot, but let me explain. So if you're aiming for 30 grams of protein, that's putting you at 90 grams for the day. As a woman, as you age, you naturally lose muscle mass, which needs to be combated with a high protein diet and strength training. So strength training, you're building the muscle, and the high protein diet is fueling the muscle, because you're gonna wanna have muscle as you get older. It's gonna help you with all of the things. Muscle is going to be your best asset as you get older. So a good rule of thumb is aiming for 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per body weight in protein for the day. So say you weigh 150 pounds, and a good starting point is 0.8 grams of protein, but let's use 1 just for this example. So 1 gram of protein would put you at 150 grams for the day. So if your minimum for your meals was 90 with each meal that you're eating, you can supplement after a workout or anything with a protein shake, a protein drink. This has 20 grams of protein in it. So if I had 3 meals that had 30 grams of protein and then had this, that puts me at 110, which is only 40 grams away from my goal of 150. So I know that 150 can sound like a really big number and like it's gonna be hard to get. Just like anything in fitness, you're going to be taking one step at a time, setting small goals and building upon those so that you get better with time. If you just said, okay, I'm gonna go for 1 gram for my body weight and that's 150 grams, I need to hit that, you're gonna set yourself up for failure. So take your time, work your way up so that it lasts a lifetime. Okay, you still with me? Tip number 5 is to have go-to meals. So if your life is anything like me, I have 3 kids who are very busy. Your after school is chaotic and kids come home hangry. The key to help avoiding the chaos is to be prepared. So when your kids are coming home, making sure that you have things in the fridge that you can easily put together that are good for them and good for you. As you're working on increasing your protein, like you heard about in tip 4, you're going to want to create your go-to meals. Things that were good, were high in protein, that the whole family liked. And then you're gonna wanna keep the things to create those meals on hand. So you're gonna wanna have things like ground beef in the fridge, chicken, cans of tuna. Now, kids necessarily don't like cans of tuna, but you might like to throw it in a salad or make like a tuna and egg salad, something like that. I really love having beef jerky on hand. Oddly enough, my kids love them, so that is such a great snack. You can have fruits, veggies, cut them, and then just have them in the fridge so that they're ready to go. But having those go-to meals is going to be a game changer for you. Knowing that, okay, this is high in protein, this is good for me, and also my family will eat it. Mark that down because that's going in the win column. You're gonna wanna have that often. Your diet needs to be a variety. You need to have all different things, but having your go-tos and favorite is not a bad thing. We encourage that you have meals that are healthy and that you can easily whip them up and know that it's gonna help you with your goal and also not make your family upset. Bonus tip, make sure that when you're preparing dinner, you cook extra of it. This is going to mean that you have that for lunch the next day and it's gonna set you up for success. Having those go-to meals is going to be great for you and your family. Speaking of meals, that brings me to tip number 6. Okay, tip number 6. I want you to focus on quality rather than your calorie deficit. So if you've just begun your fitness journey and you're wanting to lose weight in the process, it is going to be so tempting to choose foods that are low in calorie. Chances are if it's 0 calories or super low calories, it's too good to be true if it's not a whole food. When I first started my journey, I would avoid the labels and just go for things that said like 0 calories, low in calories, low carbs, and not even looking at the ingredients of it and what that meant. Chances are if there's 0 calories, there's some form of chemical in it that makes it 0 calories. The best way to explain this to you is to show you. 2 syrups, for example. This one is 5 calories per 2 tablespoons. There's so many different ingredients in it that I won't read off to you. Then we have this, maple syrup, 2 tablespoons, 110 calories. The only ingredient is pure organic maple syrup. So yes, this, you would be able to eat it in abundance, and this you would have to learn moderation and not just doing everything that's convenient and low calories. That's gonna set you up for success in the long run because you're going to learn your portion control and eating things that are higher in calories, but you enjoy them. You, like I said, you want to eat things that you love. So if you love maple syrup, then you should be able to have it and learn how to have it in moderation. I hope you found these 6 tips helpful today. I too used to do these things and learn the long and hard way. So I'm hoping that you can avoid that. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so that you're notified when my next video drops. You're gonna wanna be here for it. If you've made it this far and you live in Vegas, Henderson, Salt Lake, or Phoenix, make sure you drop the word inspired in the comments, and one lucky viewer will win a $65 gift card to Inspired Go. It's fresh salads and healthy snacks delivered right to your door. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll talk to you soon.